the world's toughest prisons.
It's definitely quite intimidating.
8 famous faces brave enough to go in them.
You don't think I need a bulletproof vest?
To see for themselves if they can survive.
I want to get out, man. I want to get out.
Behind bars.
That's pretty disgusting.
I'm Deborah Stevenson, and I'm in for the shock of my life. I've agreed to give up my freedom and spend the next 4 days living as an inmate in one of California's biggest jails, Santa Rita. An hour's drive from San Francisco, Santa Rita holds 4,000 inmates. 300 are women in here for crimes ranging from drink driving through to murder. Many of them come from the nearby city of Oakland, which is one of the most dangerous cities in America. I'm going to live the life of a real inmate. I'll be stripped of my clothes.
You have to see this underwear. It is absolutely disgusting.
My dignity.
Stevenson! Are you an overbeat?
Forced to go on a punishment diet.
Oh my God, that is foul.
And driven to the edge.
It's just so depressing.
I'll be sleeping, showering and working here just like any other inmate.
You don't forget you're in here.
Did you take your purse off for me? Turn around, place your hands behind your back for me.
I got my big break in the prison drama Bad Girls, and it always made me wonder how I'd cope being locked up for real. Now I'm gonna get the chance to find out.
I feel like a caged animal, actually.
It's about 80 degrees outside, but there's no air conditioning in this van.
I can feel myself starting to sweat, and it feels quite humiliating and degrading being like this. And I'm thanking God that it's just for, you know, for 4 days. But if this was me going in for 4 or 5 months, 4 or 5 years, this would be excruciating. It's really, really not nice. Oh, wow. This is like the gates of hell, isn't it? This is the gates to the unknown. It's like the point of no return.
Like any new inmate, I'm about to be stripped of all my personal possessions.
Email to the lobby. What's your last name?
Stevenson.
Stevenson. Pick up all jewelry you have, place it in the tray.
Losing my handbag is bad enough, but removing my wedding ring is even tougher. I feel like I'm already losing my identity.
It's quite strange giving over your handbag as a woman. It's a private and personal thing, and it's not easy to give away, but it's going to take this gentleman a long time to write down everything that's in my bag, I think.
Inmates are often brought straight in off the streets, so the jail's priority is to stop deadly weapons and any drugs being smuggled in.
Okay, go ahead, stand back up. Open up your mouth. I want you to put your fingers like this, roll all the way down so I can see the gum line. Now all the way up. People hide stuff right up there.
I've never been frisked like this before, and it's clear who's in charge here. Next, they take my mugshot, fingerprints, and I get my jail ID wristband.
This is your identification, just so we know who you are in here. You gotta keep it on at all times. You can't take it off, okay?
I'm dumped in one of the jail's holding cells. Suddenly, it starts to dawn on me just what I'm letting myself in for.
I just don't feel clean in here. That toilet just looking really foul. And even though other people aren't here now, you know that like lots of other people have been in here, and it just feels really dirty.
Male inmates just a few feet away are being put through exactly the same process. It's starting to feel a bit too real. A jail deputy needs to see if I'm a risk to other inmates.
Have you ever been charged with an assault?
No.
Okay. You ever tried to hit a cop?
No.
Okay. Are you heterosexual, homosexual, or bisexual?
Heterosexual.
Okay. Crimes involving children?
No.
Okay.
I've been given this to read, and worryingly, there's actually a little part here that says, if you're forced into having sex, report it immediately to jail staff. Does that happen? Because if it didn't happen, they wouldn't have to put it on here.
Now, the moment I've been dreading.
Mr. Stevenson, I need you to change your clothes. We're going to take you out to housing unit, okay? Okay, and then put all of your own clothes, shoes, underwear, bra, all your own belongings into this bag. So
Even my underwear?
Even your underwear. I can close the window on yourself so you have some privacy.
Okay.
Okay?
You have to see this underwear. It is absolutely disgusting. I mean, I'm really surprised you can't keep your own knickers on. That's the grimmest garment I've ever seen.
Remember what's your last name?
Stevenson.
I've been transformed into a Santa Rita inmate, and I'm just seconds from being thrown into the heart of the jail. I've no idea what lies ahead. The noise is overwhelming. There's row upon row of women sat on bunk beds, locked up behind metal grills.
Everyone is looking, which is really, really intimidating.
This is the cage that I'll call home for the next 4 days, and I'm shunted towards the spare bunk.
Oh, that's good.
That's what we normally do.
Oh, thank you.
The inmates seem friendly enough, but I'm anxious about who to trust. I don't know their crimes, and there's no way I'm asking them right now.
Do you always
Line them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better. I mean, if you look at underneath, it's not the best.
Yeah.
I don't mind touching that.
So do you always kind of
Help the new people,
new people? Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah. What's the worst thing about it? What's some of the bad things?
The beds are hard. The food is bland. It is very loud at night. The lights don't ever go out.
Oh, really?
And I miss my kids.
Oh, you have children?
Yes. I have a 9-month-old. And that's one of 4.
1 of 4? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. My oldest just turned 12 this month, so.
Oh, wow. It's just so basic. I think it would be really uncomfortable sleeping here with just this little blanket on this really hard mattress, knowing that you can't move too far because if you roll over, you'll go splat onto the floor. And worse still, just I would find it quite difficult to sleep with lots of people in the room, especially people that I don't really know. Depending on their behaviour, inmates get 45 minutes a day of recreation. It's my first day here, and I know I stand out, so I'm glad when one of the deputies suggests I sit down with inmate Dorothy Parker. She's doing time for possession of drugs, but what's shocking to me is that she's 6 months pregnant with her 3rd child. Do you find that the other females are very supportive of you because you're pregnant?
Yeah, they are. But you never know what the next person is really like, you know? You never know what they could spontaneously do, what they're not going to do. They make weapons in here. You know, if you get a person that's not classified right and they come over and they're not mentally sane, you know, that puts you at great risk, and that is really scary, especially when you be asleep at night and you have to worry about, you know, who's in your cage with you. You know, are they in their right mind? Are they not? Are they going to hurt you? Are they not? And it's a constant thing that goes on through your head.
Do you often find you've got a knot in your stomach?
Yeah.
Dorothy's words have shocked me and made me even more worried about mixing with the rest of the inmates. But I've got little choice. It's dinner time for the 100 women banged up in here, and that includes me. I'm nervous about who to sit next to. I'm the new girl. But I spot someone I recognise from my cage.
Is this free then, this fare?
She tells me her name is Cynthia and that she's been locked up here for 3 months.
And you get 2 trays, you get both trays.
You get a hot tray and a cold tray.
Oh, that's cold, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that I thought you'd get, like, you know, a nice long time to eat and digest and...
No, 15, 20 minutes at the max.
Oh, why the hurry?
He wants back locked up.
I still feel like a fish out of water, and I know I'm being sussed out by the other inmates watching how I cope with my first serving of jail slop. Nachos and chili. Not very appetizing. The woman next to me eyes the cake on my tray. And I'm more than happy to let her have it. Coming up, I face the reality of life in jail for a woman.
And I've never even held my baby. I don't know what it feels like.
Then get a quick lesson of who's in charge.
Stevenson, are you an over B? Did I call over B-Pod?
And spend an entire night locked up in solitary confinement.
This is where I'm going to sleep tonight. This is it.
I'm Deborah Stevenson, and I'm living life as an inmate inside Santa Rita Jail in California. I'm going to find out what it's like to be a mum behind bars.
And I've never even held my baby. I don't know what it feels like.
Get my shared cell turned upside down.
It's like, if you come home and somebody's burgled you.
Get put to work scrubbing toilets. And take my first jail shower.
I always think of prison showers as being places of terror.
It's my second day here, and I'm being taken to meet a woman who's spent her entire life in and out of jail. LaTonya Thompson has a history of violent and aggressive behaviour, both on the streets and in here.
One of the deputies just told me that the last time that she got put in there, she got so angry she went off and started pounding the doors. And she was pounding the doors so hard that the deputy actually thought that the door had come loose because it was physically moving.
LaTonya is kept in isolation away from any other inmates in the jail's punishment pod.
I feel quite apprehensive about meeting her, actually.
She's locked down in her cell for 23 hours a day and can only be moved around in handcuffs flanked by 2 deputies at all times. I have to admit, I wouldn't want to argue with her. We're only allowed to talk to each other through an open grill in the main door.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm a little stressed.
I've never seen teeth like yours.
Yeah, I got diamonds in them.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
So how you like being here, being locked up for these little few days?
It's not very nice, is it?
No, it's not nice.
No.
You lucky you're not over here experiencing this side.
And what is it that's so hard about this?
You over here with some of the crazies. You know, females that's on meds, that's not really having it all up there. You know, like, it's just wild and crazy over here on this side.
And is that during the day or is that at night?
This is during the day, the evening, and at nighttime. It's all day long.
Right.
You know, people screaming, hollering, and crying, and like how she doing now. She over there screaming and hollering, so
yeah,
it's...
I hear that. And when was the first time you came to jail?
Back in the 80s.
LaTonya's been in and out of jail for the last 23 years. This time, she's currently here for assault with a deadly weapon.
When I was young, I started meeting big drug lords. I started doing robberies. I started having weapons. You know, you look at a person selling drugs, you make more money than these people doing on regular jobs. You know what I mean?
I'm sure,
Not to be bragging, but you looking at a lot of money. You know what I mean? And when I was making all that money, I was just fascinated with it at a young age, you know? And one thing I learned in the streets and selling drugs, and you're gonna either die out there on them streets or you're gonna be in jail for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know, but this is it. This time, this is it. Can't do it no more. I'm a grandmother now. I can't do this. This is not where it's at.
You look young for a grandmother.
Thank you. I'll be 42. I got 7 kids. You know, my son was just here, and that just kind of like blew me away when I found out that he was here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he wasn't here as a visitor. He was here.
No, he was locked up here for a second armed robbery.
What's been the worst thing about being here?
Being away from my kids. You know, being away from my babies. That's something you can't bring back. My kids is the most important to me. It's my babies. If I can bring it all back, I would. You know, I pray, you know, because my son is out there in that life. You know, I don't want that for my kids because I went through that. You know, I went through that, and like I said, this is not where this is not where it's at. You know, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm paying for them.
She's a woman that can really look after herself, and she's a woman that quite obviously loses her temper fairly easily. She doesn't take any crap from anyone, and I think she feels let down in a sense by her own anger, the fact that she can't quite control it sometimes. That actually just messes things up for her. It seems like LaTonya's trapped in a vicious cycle, and even doing time in here hasn't been enough of a deterrent for her. I'm relieved to get out of the punishment pod and back into the main housing section, but not so glad when I find out what I have to endure next.
All right, so Stevenson's gonna work with you guys today. You guys are going to clean your cell. All right. Show her the ropes.
I've got to confront one of my greatest bugbears, dirt. As a clean freak, I'm going to have to scrub the inmates' toilets and shower areas alongside 2 of the inmates I met yesterday, Anna and Rhoda.
Go ahead and get in there if you want to really do it.
Yeah, yeah. So how often do you do this cleaning out of this?
Oh, it's about once a week. You see? You getting it?
It'll take a long time because I do things really properly, or try.
Oh, okay.
And you only got a limited time to do this?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
they're
limited. They're going to start yelling. Robinson's going to start yelling.
Yeah, really? Down there too. So
yeah. Are they washing?
Yep.
Yeah.
And get the floor too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Get over here.
There.
This is a far cry from cleaning my loo back home. These toilets, sinks and showers are used by up to 100 inmates each day. I can't say cleaning's my favourite pastime, but if I put my mind to it, I like to do a good job. I want the other inmates to feel I'm pulling my weight.
So if you hadn't done a good job, would you get loads of stick from the other inmates? Would they start giving you a load of problems?
Yes, if you don't do your share, like...
Does anyone inspect these? Do the deputies come in and inspect them? Yeah?
Well, after we clean, they do a walkthrough, basically.
I was really surprised at the pace that they have to work at. They don't get very long to do their jobs. But everything has to be rushed and everything has to be hurried. So we had to work like lightning. Exhausted, I head back to my cage. I've been here for 2 days now, and already I'm starting to feel a bit worn down. I see Cynthia, who I had lunch with yesterday, and I was curious to know what had landed her in here.
I drink, and that's why I'm in here, is because it's my 3rd DUI. It's 120 days of jail time.
Right. After meeting LaTonya this morning, I'm really stunned that a woman like Cynthia could come to jail for being caught drink driving. I can't believe she's in here alongside much more hardened criminals.
Do you feel it's quite tough?
Yeah, it is, but I deserved it. I did it, so.
But you're still with a lot of women in here who are here for various crimes that might even be violent.
I got myself in here, so I have to just deal with what I can in here. And I'm not a prison person. I'm not a jail person. This is my first and my last. Yeah.
It's got me thinking that almost anyone could end up in jail, even someone like me.
Step out! Let's go, ladies. Once you're lined up, I'll tell you what to do.
Then something unexpected happens. The entire housing unit is sent into meltdown.
Line up on the cages. Yep, back to the cage. There you go.
I have no idea what's going on, so I just follow orders. This is serious, and everyone seems on edge. The deputies don't seem like they're messing around.
No parking, lady. Put your blue shirt on, and you're gonna go to the quasi-yard.
I'm still in the dark as we're led out in single file to a small enclosed yard. It's only then that Cynthia explains that the jail has sprung a shock inspection of the cage.
What they do is they just go through all your stuff. They tear it apart, they take what they want. If you have doubles of anything, they take it from you. So, yeah.
This is known as a cell shakedown. The deputies are looking for contraband that inmates might be hiding. Anything from extra bedding and food through to drugs and homemade weapons.
Oh, in the pad. They're not allowed to have these. It could be used as a weapon at any point in time. We keep our house in check. We try and do a shakedown once a week. We're gonna come in and we're gonna take them down and we're just gonna shake them up. And then after that, they calm down and they remember who's in charge, because we're in charge. And sometimes they forget that.
The women seem angry and frustrated. They say they have no idea how long we'll be kept out here for. I'm nervous and I don't want to stand on my own, so I head over to a group of women. Marisa Gonzalez is keen to tell me her story and says she was pregnant when she first arrived here.
My baby was premature, and they had to take the baby from Al's Bates, where I delivered, to Children's Hospital because he was premature. They woke me up, and I was incoherent because I was in pain and just had major surgery. Said, "Do you want to see your baby?" And I'm in and out because I was just under anesthesia or whatever. And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, reach over." Well, I could not move. I passed out, and I didn't even get to see my child. I have yet. And my child was born July 29th, and I still haven't seen my baby.
Oh, that's really harsh.
And I've never even held my baby. I've never nothing. I don't know what my baby smells like. I don't know what it feels like.
All right, you come out here.
And I never get to see my baby again. I can't even say again because I never even saw him once.
For the first time, it really hits me how tough jail is. I couldn't conceive being torn away from my children.
Stevenson, are you in Upper B?
Yes.
Did I call Upper B pot?
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Who else is in Upper B? We can wait for y'all. Turn around, face. Come here. Turn around, face. Take your blue shirt off.
Your pants have cuffs in them, take the cuffs out. Lay them on the floor. Put your arms up on the wall, spread them apart. Spread your feet apart. Turn your toes out.
I don't know how much more of this I can stand. It's totally dehumanizing and humiliating. I'm starting to feel like I'm at breaking point.
All right, let's go. Single file line. Grab the tan, grab one pillow, and go up.
The cage has been turned completely upside down.
What happened? They begin to see, too.
Everyone's in shock, including me.
God, they've really made a mess, haven't they?
Look at that side. That's not my stuff, but that's somebody else's. Look at all that. Look at this. They didn't have to do it this way. That was all wrong.
It's like if you come home and somebody's burgled you.
Yeah, somebody ransacked your whole house.
Doesn't feel like there's an awful lot of respect for your things.
No, not at all. At least I throw my grandson's pictures around.
It's just the whining and the crying.
Marissa, still upset after breaking down outside, has also reacted badly to all of this.
They took my bras, my socks, my underwear. They already took my child from me. What else do they want to take from me?
What if you say, this is what I had and I'm allowed all these things? Can I have them back?
I've had times, the last time they did a shakedown, I had sugars that I purchased off a commissary and I showed them, and they took my toothbrush. I had no toothbrush to brush my teeth with. They said, well, sorry, you got to chalk it up to the game. That's exactly word for word what they told me. Chalk it up.
I know jail should be tough, but somehow I hadn't realized it could be as tough as this. I feel like I've reached rock bottom.
This is so shit in here that I actually really cannot wait to get out of here. It's just so depressing, and I couldn't imagine having to stay in here any longer than I am in here. I'm starting to realise how absolutely foul it is, and why the women are so desperate to get out of here and never to come back. I just don't feel like eating. And the whole thing's starting to drag me down.
Coming up, things get worse as I'm taken in handcuffs to the jail's punishment pod.
This is where I'm going to sleep tonight. This is it.
Confront one of my greatest fears.
I always think of prison showers as being places of terror.
Forced to eat the jail's punishment diet.
Oh my God, the texture of that is foul.
And spend the night locked up in solitary.
And this, then, is it for the night.
I'm Deborah Stevenson, and I'm inside Santa Rita Jail in California. I'll come face to face with violent women in maximum security.
It was a serious assault. It was with a weapon.
Be forced to eat the worst jail food.
Oh my God, the texture of that is foul.
And spend the night in one of the jail's punishment cells.
You don't forget you're in here.
For now, I'm just gonna have you have a seat right here.
It's my third day here, and I've been brought to maximum security to see how some of the more dangerous women handle sharing a cell. Dressed in yellow uniforms because of their maximum security status, I'm going to meet Sharon Butler and Lanisha Powell, who have to spend 20 hours a day locked up together.
Why are you in here rather than over in the pods in blue?
I'm here for assault, so I think if you have a serious crime, they put you in yellows.
How long have you had to be here?
8 months.
That seems like a long time.
Yes, it is.
To be here for an assault. Was it a really serious assault? Do you mind me asking?
Yes, it was a serious assault. It was with a weapon, and yeah, I lost it, so.
What kind of weapon was it?
A knife.
Was it a man or a woman that you...
It was a woman. Mm. I would never do it again, ever.
Mm.
Unlike Lanisha, Sharon's been in and out of jail for the past 16 years. This is her 8th spell here, and she seems quite proud to tell me about her life as a petty thief out on the streets.
You know, if I can get it, I'm gonna get it. And I'm quick, and when I go in stores, I time myself. And you blend in with them. You kind of get a sense of who's a law prevention. Because they'll walk down the aisle with you and they'll kind of look at you, and I just walk with them. And while they looking, they missing.
So you're quite bright, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
I was fascinated by how these two women with such different personalities managed to share such a confined space like this.
I sleep this way, head this way. She do too. We both sleep with our head this way.
Do you sleep at the same time? Do you sleep well?
And I do this every night.
I guess when you first get here, you don't sleep too well.
I'm short. This bed is small.
What time do you go to sleep?
Maybe around 11.
You've got quite a lot of stuff on here. Have you got your own space?
We like share a lot, because we're bunkies. We call bunky love, okay? And then comfort. And this is our toothpaste jar.
You have a lot of toothpaste.
Yeah, well, I ain't got no teeth, so, you know. No. And then this is Lanisha's makeup kit thing. She put it on my face today, as y'all can see. I don't wear makeup, but she puts it on my face today. This is her makeup.
And your sink and your loo.
Yeah.
And the sanitary towels are, I guess, for comfort, yeah?
Yeah, or because it get too cold.
I never thought of that. This is a bit personal, but you know when girls get together, they all get their periods at the same time. Does that happen here?
Yes, it does.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna get you on that one because I haven't had a period since 5/25/95. I had a hysterectomy, so she's on her own on that one.
Well, thanks for allowing me in here and showing me everything. It's really generous of you. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Take care. Nice to meet you.
You have a pleasure, a blessed trip.
Nice to meet you too.
Good luck, both of you. Sharon was a very gregarious and very like a little girl, but obviously quite clever. And I think not to be underestimated.
I'm now about to go through an experience I will never forget.
Stevenson, come to the copying court.
I'm going to spend the night in the jail's punishment pod, where inmates are kept locked down in their cells for 23 hours a day.
You gonna go up the stairs?
I'm being taken to my own cell, and I've been told I'll stay here until the following morning.
All right, give me my handcuffs back.
I'm not sure I'm prepared for this.
This is where I'm going to sleep tonight. This is it. Somebody is ranting out there.
There are further punishments that the deputies can enforce on you if you're placed in this part of the jail.
Now, Stevenson, this is a disciplinary loaf. It has the same nutritional value as regular food.
I think it's what they give you when they really don't like you. Oh my God. Oh my God, the texture of that is foul. It's steaming hot, which is, I suppose, one good thing, but it's meat, and I don't really want to eat meat and I don't know where it's come from. I only eat organic meat.
Loaf is a mush of food that's designed to taste unpleasant. The jail is within its rights to feed this to an inmate twice a day for 72 hours.
I do think it's fair punishment to give someone who's misbehaving. What do you do with somebody if they're not playing by the rules? You've already banged them up. You've already segregated them. There has to be something else, doesn't there? So, you know, take away their privilege of having some food to look forward to. Oh, God. This is horrible. Oh, God. I'm gonna... Oh, God, that's hard. It looks thicker than it really is because there's nothing really to it. There's not much substance to it, really, because it's on that, and that is concrete. And the pillow itself, it's not soft, it's just... it's just the worst pillow ever. It's not what you'd go and buy in Marks and Spencer's, is it? This is jail. This ain't no hotel. And I've got a window that I can... Ooh.
Stevenson, you want part-time?
Yes, please.
I've been in here for about 3 hours, and I'm given a chance to come out of my cell. For inmates in this part of the jail, this is your one chance a day to shower, make a telephone call, or just stretch your legs in the pod.
Thank you. Hi.
I spot LaTonya, who I met yesterday, locked up in her cell.
I'm staying here tonight.
Oh, here in the red?
Yeah, so you're just in there a lot on your own?
Yes.
LaTonya wants to read me something she's written.
This is part of my life experience, stuff that I went through, so this is real.
Okay.
As I lay asleep at night, I hear the cries of others, the screaming, the crying, the talking to themselves that makes no one wonder the thoughts that's going through their minds, their demons in battle.
And is that good for you to do when you're on your own? Does that make up a little bit for not being able to speak to people?
Yeah, it do. It helps me to maintain a lot of stuff, like the stuff that goes on in here with the women screaming and stuff. I write about everything. I write about everything.
Thank you for reading your stuff to me.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed that.
You're welcome.
Bye for now.
I can't imagine 23 hours and then just an hour of this and then another 23 hours and then an hour of this and then another 23 hours relentlessly for however long. And the weird thing is, it feels like Big Brother because everybody's watching you. You know, you're the entertainment in a way when it's your pod time, and you each get a turn at it. It's really odd. I'm finding this quite hard, just this.
Unable to go outside, and with nothing much else left to do, I take the chance to try and get clean, which means confronting one of my greatest fears about jail life.
I always think of prison showers as being really places of terror. I'm quite glad to be on my own and know that everyone else is locked up.
Ugh. There's enough water, it's not just a dribble. I don't really want to get my hair wet. Because I know I'll get cold if I do.
This is the only moment of the night that I'm glad I'm not over in the cage. There, I'd have to shower alongside other women. Thankfully here, I could shower on my own.
Well, at least I feel clean.
My hour's up, so I return to my cell and start to prepare for bed.
The guys put sanitary towels over this seat to make it more comfortable, and they give you these pretty much in abundance.
Once in bed, I can't stop thinking about the other inmates. For them, this is their reality, night after night.
A lot of the women in here, most of them I would say, are mums with children who they have been separated from. And worse still, some of them who've been taken into care because they're always here for one reason or another. And I think that's the saddest thing of all. I really do.
Hi, Erickson, it's Robinson. Good morning. Can you turn the tier lights on in F-Pod, please? Thank you. Bye. Stevenson, breakfast.
I'm really hungry. The bed, oh my God, it's so uncomfortable. Every bone in your body aches after a couple of hours. I knew that if I woke up in the middle of the night, I thought there was a possibility that I could see a face at that window, and I felt vulnerable, even though nobody could touch me, but I felt vulnerable that they might see me, so I slept with a blanket over my head. You don't forget you're in here. You know where you are all night. I've got some potatoes. Oh, some sort of dodgy looking burger. I won't be eating that. Interesting. Oh, what is that? Is that a mould or rot or something? Oh, yuck.
It's been 14 hours since I first came in here, and thankfully my time in the punishment pod is nearly over. But there's one last experience the jail wants me to have. It does feel like relative freedom after being in that cell. You've got to really make yourself small and calm in there, and out here it does feel quite free compared, which is saying something because it is still quite a small space with a cage, you know, you're in a bit of a cage really, you know, with a net on there. But it's a relief. It's a relief to get out. Still to come. My jailmates finally reveal why they're locked up.
I have a problem with other people's money.
And I get ready to taste freedom.
I'm relieved. It's relief.
It's my last day inside Santa Rita Jail, where I've been treated as a real inmate for the past 4 days.
I want to see this.
This is what we do. This is what we
Most of my time has been in this cage, and I spend my final morning here with the women who call this home. I sense they're starting to trust me more, and they invite me to sample some of the luxuries they're allowed to have.
There's a pouch of chili. There's stew. There's chicken.
Empty contents into a saucepan.
But we don't do that. We don't have saucepans, so you do this.
Improvise.
Yeah, you do this.
Because it only says you have to make it warm, so it's perfect.
So we
isn't it?
fold it, and then we get the hot water like we did to make the noodles.
Yeah.
And pour it in the cup and let it sit.
This is really, really nice. Really, genuinely very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. This is what we do.
Anna seems like a real matriarch figure, and I've really warmed to her. After 4 days of being in her company, she finally decides to reveal that she's in jail for forgery and embezzlement.
I have a problem. I have a problem with other people's money.
Did you?
That's the best way to put it. I came from upper middle class, so it wasn't like I was poor and that it's a compulsive behavior.
You like to have it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
You know what? That's really funny because someone down there was asking me that right before we talked today. She goes, Anna, was it worth it? I go, I don't know if it's worth it. Where do you weigh this out? I'm away from my family, my friends, all the people I love. And was it worth it, money versus the emotional part of it and your freedom? I don't know. You can't put a price on your freedom.
I get the impression that Anna doesn't think doing jail time is that bad. And most of the women I've met in here, even the mums, are repeat offenders. I find that really sad.
Stevenson, roll up, get your stuff, bring it all down, and get released. Let's go.
At last, my time in jail is up, and I'm told to roll up my stuff just like any other inmate who is about to be released.
You take care. Bye. Thank you.
I'm really surprised by the farewell I get from the other inmates. And while I'm relieved to be on my way home, there's a big part of me that really feels for some of the women I'm leaving behind. My time in jail has changed me.
Stevenson.
I've had a genuine taste of life behind bars.
Yes, it is.
And yet I'm the only one who can just walk out free.
Miss Stevenson, are you dressed? Yes, I am.
If 4 days in jail have stripped me of my dignity and self-esteem, what would months and years do?
I feel like I've had a bit of an ordeal, actually. Jail is not a soft option at all. And I've spent time with hardened women. Thank you, bye. It's like they're at their best in a way while they're here. They're not high. It's like a detox for them. And they are determined to change things and never come back again. And the really sad thing is that they do very often end up straight back in here. They can just be out of here, back in with the same crowd, the same temptation, end up doing what they've always done that put them here in the first place, and it's a cycle that they just can't seem to break. And that's the worst thing about this experience for me.